Alright, here we go. This is a custom 2v2 on Crater between the Carbon team in the upper left. It is Samuelman1 in the Alpha Striker and Overkill2142 in the Raptor Neo. And their opponents, the blue team in the bottom right, it is Makeshift in the Raptor Neo and Elastic Heart in the Easter Osprey. Bunny Spree. Still picking their loadout. It's actually Samuelman is the only one that has not finalized their loadout, which is a little bit crazy. Chasm, there's not much that I want to say about Chasm. It's a map that is literally divided down the middle, which kind of represents how the games play out on this map. Generally, it's easy to hold your side's outposts, and there is basically a trench fight here at mid. That's what happens during the majority of Chasm games. The games that get sent into me, you know, there's usually some variety, which is why people send them in, but, you know, anyway. But Carbon team and blue team both going pretty standard, neutralizing their sides outposts first. Makeshift taking the bottom. Carbon team taking top, and they are now both going for their factories. And I think recently this was rotated, yes? The door is facing this way, so there's going this way for some reason. Wow, that is weird. Oh, these are... Oh, no, never mind. Because those were already taken. That's why. I think this should face this way. It's kind of weird to have that, like, to have the door face this side. I don't really get that. This... Oh, I guess because they've walked down this path. Anyway. Completely irrelevant things while I'm waiting for the game to really start to heat up. But Overkill with a little bit of harass here, not really going to get anything done. It's a little bit dangerous actually to do that against a fellow Neo who can stasis you as well, but does manage to jump over the gap, jump over the chasm, and you know, get back to his outpost before he gets finished off. Blue team slightly behind in the mid fight right now. They have not set any units at the bottom. That is pretty much due to Overkill's harass. It did allow Samuelman to ferry his units down to the bottom, so Carbon team is well ahead of the blue team right now, have a lot more units down on the field, especially close to the middle outpost right now. 34 to 24, so actually way more ahead in terms of upkeep. But on this map, it doesn't matter a humongous amount unless you really have a good game plan and good communication between you and your teammate, because the only real thing that can come of an early mid-fight lead is an early, okay, ferry over like that, if you can take the outpost and hold it. Hold it is the big thing, because with the amount of units that the enemy usually has there at the bottom, they usually can hold you off and, you know, either neutralize your outposts or kill the majority of your units. But it does look like Carbon team is doing a pretty good job holding their ground right now. Samuelman does get killed, but Overkill's still in the fight with a couple of Buckies on the side, and he might move them. He might do a follow move to here, so they will just continue to attack the units down here. Creeps walking in as well will get hit by these Bucky missiles. Once he has enough. The middle outpost has been neutralized, so the Carbon team has been forced to pull back, and I think that is probably most likely due to Samuelman's death. So it was a 2v1 for a decent amount of time, just recently coming back to the fight, not able to really support Overkill, and Overkill was forced to retreat there, especially as a Neo, doesn't really have much damage capability or, you know, micro capability. It's more of a harass mech for sure, but does go with a couple of jokers here at the top to get this neutralization reacted to by Makeshift pretty quickly. Will he be able to prevent this neutralization from happening? Does throw the stasis down, and two Blade Guardians will allow him to hit multiple jokers basically at the same time. The neutralization does happen, but Overkill does not come back in time to really capitalize on it, so this will go back to blue team pretty soon. And Elastic Heart is here as well to try to manage this Neo harassing. But Overkill definitely knows what he's doing. Does have 3 radar guardians to see as much of the map as possible, and I guess as a Neo, it is beneficial most likely. But we shall see if that will really come into play. Blue team is a little bit ahead, 43 to 36, not a humongous amount, but it's significant enough such that you could probably tell, you know, you could probably call that they are in the lead. Overkill actually, okay, clearing the top. Did the blue team really notice that the top bridge was being cleared? Oh man, Tesla towers down on the field for the blue team, trying to leapfrog out past the chasm, but a little bit dangerous against this Carbon team that has you know, great reaction time. Was able to prevent Elastic Heart from bringing more units down, you know, down here to this low ground and harassing this unit club over here. Overkill with a couple of creeps to distract fire. Great high tier, you know, basics and great reaction, or great, you know, decision making. Great choices made. The blue team is losing a lot of units and will probably need to pull back right now. Elastic Heart drops his Longhorn in front of his unit line instead of behind it or on the other side of the chasm. So no, there's not even a healing unit over here. So that's very, very dangerous. To put them there, although the Carbon team did not capitalize on that positioning. The blue team has actually been able to take middle outposts under their control and ferry a lot of units onto the left side. 41 to 52. At this point, this relatively minor is not really the right way to put it, but it's not massive. Upkeep lead for the blue team is probably amplified by the fact that they control mid, and now that they have an income advantage, the Carbon team is definitely on the ropes. They might want to try that top push that they looked like they were planning due to clearing that top ridge, but Elastic Heart relentless with this drop micro harass. Even Busters being brought out. Makeshift with a couple of Buckies. That's kind of a strange choice. Usually you want to drop some tanks, or if you do, you drop the Bucky way behind so it can kind of stay there and continue to fire. But yeah, the Samuelman and an Overkill kind of way out here. They are not really close to any outposts over here. This is here, but they aren't really utilizing it at all, and even if they tried to, it would be pretty difficult. Overkill with a few Buckies, gonna try to get this outpost neutralized, but it's gonna take some time, and 2 creeps now walking in. He does realize it. He does spot that, so oh man, 1 creep gets killed. That is crazy. Makeshift actually really low on health. Q heals, and will he be finished off by Overkill here? No, very, very close. Where the blue team is now spread out much, much further, able to take that top right outpost, or that top middle outpost, whatever you want to call it, away from Carbon team's control, and now they will set their sights on the last outpost on the map. 37 to 59, max of 80 versus 38, which is ridiculous, which is why I wanted to see upkeep decrease per outpost and increase for the fort. I don't know if that happened yet, or if it will happen at all. But Samuelman desperately trying to keep this very last bastion of hope for the game alive, and it does not really look like he has very much hope to do that.
Lost an outpost, Commander.
And although this top right outpost, this top middle outpost got neutralized by the Carbon team, blue team still has a very good foothold on it, where, yeah, no more Carbon team units have been able to survive this attack. 64 to 35, about double upkeep for the blue team against the Carbon team. Elastic Heart easily able to distract so many units over here to contest against the Carbon unit clump. Overkill trying to do what he can, pushing whatever units he can, because it is definitely a very urgent situation that he needs to make sure something happens ASAP. And gonna try to snipe whatever he can. Gonna abuse that, you know, that uppercut, backstab, whatever you want to call it, neo melee as much as possible. Does prevent those creeps from going in. We're gonna try to kill this gangster, and he's actually executing extremely well, doing tons of damage, but it probably won't be enough, especially considering the unit upkeep advantage that the blue team has right now. Samuelman still fighting this high ground battle, which it really confuses me, honestly. Especially against an Osprey as a striker, you want to kind of pull back, try to focus the mech down maybe, but at this point, it's just a losing battle however you look at it, unless Elastic Heart just becomes extremely irresponsible. Even with this extremely good, yeah, that was a great unit formation, it's still very difficult to fight against. The Buster and the Osprey is just so hard. You might want to wait for the Osprey to leapfrog a little bit further forward so you can have better outpost support. And Elastic Heart stays alive, transforming down. Samuelman not able to focus him down. And Makeshift still trying to deal with the Overkill's, you know, neo melee. I think it's called backstab, but I don't really care. I honestly don't. Let's see if there's a name for it. Where is it? Under stasis, right? No. Is it under cloak? No. Okay, it's definitely not under the other two. But either way, 36 to 63, the blue team is still solidly ahead, and Elastic Heart creeping closer and closer and closer to this outpost. A goalie leading the way, actually, so that's very, very effective. That's going to be very extremely effective. I really, really like the mix of Dillos in with a lot of these games recently, with a lot of these tank clumps, so they don't just bring tier 1 Longhorn or Gemini. They tend to mix in Dillos because it's kind of damage efficient for their cost. But yeah, wow, look at that concave by Elastic Heart. This neutralization is going to happen pretty soon. Samuelman desperately trying to, you know, hold his ground here, but with basically no support from Overkill because he has to fight his own battle at the top. This is going to be, okay, neutralization happened, and yeah, Samuelman forced to pull back whatever orange unit or carbon unit that he can. And it does look like Elastic Heart will be able to take control of this outpost. He doesn't even need to. As long as he keeps it away from Carbon Team, he'll be fine. 19 to 64, so the blue team could probably even push all in. Let's see, what is socketed? Nothing but money makers, which the Carbon Team definitely needs, but don't really think it'll make much of a difference because I think it's like a lot of money makers that need to compensate for one single outpost difference. It's like 6. It's a lot. So this only really makes up for one outpost-ish. And they are down by 3. So because they don't have control of this top outpost. So yeah, Overkill, you know, killing whatever he can with his freaking melee. And Samuelman again positioning these units on the high ground, mostly because the terrain keeps, you know, certain units away from, you know, it makes it hard to creep up against them. That's usually why people put stuff on the high ground. Targeting wise, it does have an effect, but it's not really that humongous. It has to be very specific. It has to be like a very specific angle to really affect the targeting, which happens a lot on Storm, sadly, because of the distances that you typically, you know, position your units at. But now the domination timer has kicked in. Overkill trying to stop it as much as he possibly can, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it happen. Actually might lose his own life here. Really low on health, but he is able to just hop his way back to the fort. Elastic Heart and Makeshift just need to pretty much push. Let's see, what did they have? They have a lot of units randomly scattered across the field, understandably so, but they could just, you know, fly around and set them all on either follow or attack or capture or something like that because of how quick you can assign unit commands in modern AirMech, basically in AirMech Strike, the way that you could just assign commands to units below you. It's much easier to consolidate your units than it was in the past, than it was in years past. And Overkill trying to do something with that Gorgon, which was obviously not going to happen. I mean, he obviously realizes that this game is over, so tried to kill that Gorgon, and then probably decided, oh, whatever, just gonna die now. It doesn't really matter. But domination timer gonna kick in 18, 17 seconds. The Carbon Team, or Overkill, gonna do whatever he can, trying to find whatever holes in the defense that the blue team has. This is relatively undefended compared to other outposts, so he's gonna try to get the neutralization here along with Samuelman in support. So if they do that, they will stop the domination timer from kicking in, or for the domination damage from kicking in, but he's actually pretty low on health, and will he be able to, no, is not able to survive that. Elastic Heart gets the follow, and Makeshift has actually got Samuelman in danger as well, and he's actually really low on health. Will Makeshift be able to get this finish? That Neo Stasis is really powerful, and the Neo, oh my god, very close. Holy crap, Makeshift should have followed. He should have continued that pursuit because he would have been able to get the kill pretty easily. But now the domination damage has basically started to tick away at this Carbon Fort health. And the Gaddy, oh man, that is BM Gaddy in my opinion. Dropping it in the face of the Moneymaker to get that kill. And now the big, well, it's not as big as it could be, but the finishing blow is coming in right now. Elastic Heart ferrying over, and Samuelman and Overkill just acting a fool on the blue side of the map, and that is going to be game, I guess. Oh, man. I think the game was pretty much over to begin with when Overkill decided to ferry over and Samuelman got killed. The Carbon Team decisively lost that exchange, and were never really able to get out of that hole. I guess, okay, what else happened? They lost that, then the blue team was able to ferry over. Didn't grab control of mid till later. They ferried over though, and they neutralized top eventually, and Carbon spent a lot of time clearing the bridge for some reason. That was pretty weird. I gotta kind of rewatch the game because my memory's a little bit hazy, even though I just casted it. But anyway, great job. Makeshift and Elastic Heart taking this custom 2v2 over Overkill2142 and Samuelman1. I'm a little bit tired, guys, so I want to make this kind of short. Please send in your replays and look at my video description because of all the awesome, useful links in it. This is RUI, and that is game. See you next time.